hello and welcome along to stage 5 here at the 27th edition of the Simac Ladies Tour. The penultimate day and an individual time trial in store for the riders. A distance of 10.2 kilometres lay ahead today, this morning from Doetinchem to Westendorp. Wow, a decisive day expected for the general classification. Here early on was the site of AG Insurance Soudal rider Marta Goosens, who put in a stunning ride to really set the pace early on, stopping the clock at 12:59.64. She was the first rider to go sub-13, but here's the site of Vittoria Guazzini. A very familiar sight on a time trial, putting in this sort of performance. Now, she's, of course, the national champion of Italy, is Guazzini, stopping the clock at 13:02.59. Just seeing the sunny skies offered to the riders today. Here's Ellen van Dijk of Lidl Trek. Now, we know she's sadly for us in her final season, but she has won the time trial in Simac so many times before throughout her illustrious career. Here she is, just coming into that final 50 metres. Now, she was the rider that took over in that hot seat. 12:52 was the time set by Ellen van Dijk as she settled into that hot seat on the podium. Keeping that warm for now, here's Christina Schweinberger of Phoenix de Koenig, the Austrian national time trial champion, just setting off on that ramp, and just look at the pace that she put in today. What a staggering ride, as expected, from Christina Schweinberger. We were just eagerly awaiting to see where she stopped the clock. She crossed that line in a time of 12:40.51. She took over in that hot seat, but Zoe Backstedt on that start ramp, we were really intrigued to know and lip read what Zoe was saying to herself. She had some pre-race rituals going on that certainly seemed to work for her. She's won so much in this sport at such a young age. We expected big things. She won the opening time trial, the individual TT at last year's Simac. Here she was crossing the line. A shake of the head there from Schweinberger, because the Great Britain national TT champion Zoe Backstedt took to the top spot. That was a sight of Lorena Wiebes in yellow, just chilling out before she would take to the start line as the last rider off today. But here was Margot Vigie of Team Visma Lisa Bike setting off down that ramp. Here was Elisa Balsamo, third from last to go today. Of course, set off in the time where they sat in that general classification. What would it do to the GC was the big question today. Here's Vigie, but now there's the sight of Megan Jastrab, second rider. Second to last rider to go off. Wiebes would, of course, be the last to ride today, and here she is following Megan Jastrab, who sat second in that GC. Top spot, number 1 on her back, looking for overall victory here was Lorena Wiebes. But here's Lily Williams riding her way across that line. A really solid TT today. Kat Ferguson putting everything in, driving that last 50 metres to the line in that white jersey. She wanted, of course, to keep at the top of the classification for the best young rider in that competition, but the ride put in by Zoe Backstedt toppled Kat Ferguson off the top spot in that classification. Zoe Backstedt taking the white jersey. Here's Margot Vigie of Team Visma Lisa Bike, crossing the line 49 seconds down there. Nonetheless, a solid ride. And here was Megan Jastrab, 4K to go out on that TT course today. 10.2 kilometres in its entirety. Elisa Balsamo finishing her ride in with everything to fight in that general classification. Plus 47 there on the ride of Backstedt, but still doing everything she needed to do in that general classification fight, as was Megan Jastrab of Team Picnic Postenel, coming in 53 seconds down on Backstedt. But here comes Lorena Wiebes. Just seeing that countdown there, and just as if we wouldn't expect the best sprinter in the world to sprint in a TT. Of course she did. She drove out the saddle to the line with a big lunge there from Lorena Wiebes. Job done. She secured her place at the top of that general classification. But here's the moment, the slow-mo replay of Zoe Backstedt putting in such a devastating turn of speed in this time trial, showing us the utter perfection we are so familiar with from Zoe Backstedt. Such a young rider for Canyon SRAM's on the Crypto, with so many accolades to her name already, a multiple champion. And here's confirmation of that stage result. Zoe Backstedt in second place, Christina Schweinberger, Ellen van Dijk takes third, and Leikanoyen in fourth there. And here's the podium moment for the British TT champion. A shake of the hands, receiving the flowers. And here's that GC confirmation after 5 stages. Lorena Wiebes in the top spot, Balsamo doing enough to stay second, but Zoe Backstedt moving her way up to third. A podium position so far, but one more stage to go. This woman retains the yellow jersey. Oh my goodness, plenty more action on the 6th and final stage at Simac tomorrow. Join us then, won't you?